Okay, you guys, this is Albert from Alberto's Towing again. I'm gonna go over how to put a call out for a heavy duty call. So we some of the stuff that we do here is heavy duty towing and medium duty towing. Those are going to be a different classification of calls that we're not really going to consider. We're not really going to consider them a motor club. They're not really considered a motor club. They're not really considered retail in some way. They could be considered a retail call if they don't have an account with us, but majority of the heavy duty and medium duty calls that come in are going to have an account with us. So it's always very important to always ask the customer, do you have an account with Alberto's Towing? If they say yes, we're calling from XPO Logistics or, Bob's Transportation or whatever the company might be called. It's always important to make sure that we get the call set up, right? So the first thing we do is we come down over here and we just create a new call just like we would anything else. And then right here, when we're going through the accounts, we can go ahead and just pick out whatever company it is, right? So let's just assume that this is for one of our companies right there. The second question you want to ask after you've verified the account is you want to ask, does it have a PO number, right? We have our own PO number that hasn't been generated and won't get generated until you hit the create call button. There could be a chance that that company has their own PO number as well. So this would be the spot to put it in at. Now, when doing a heavy duty call or medium duty call, there's a good chance that the manager is calling in on behalf of the driver, right? The manager is the one who's in charge, and it's a company, and it's one of their commercial vehicles that broke down. So you're most likely going to have to get two names and two phone numbers. So in the case that there's one for the driver, and then we have another one for the customer, then we need to go ahead and add one. So let's just put Mike, manager. These are just random numbers that I've just generated, right? And assuming they had a PO number, and let's just say their PO number was, I don't know, 1045, right? And that's their PO number that they want to put on the call. We most likely are going to end up getting two numbers, two forms of contacts, one for the manager who called in and one for the driver who broke down on the side of the road. Just in case we have any other further questions, it might be quick and easy to contact the driver, to update ETAs, contact the driver. So, and again, like I said, this is just an example call of what we got to do, in the case that we have a heavy duty tow. So assuming that the customer was going over to 1101 West Lincoln Avenue and the pickup address was, I don't know, we'll say 1532 Grand Canal Avenue, Grand Avenue, Santa Ana, California. So it's a call going from Santa Ana to Corona, right? We're going to get the year, make, model of the vehicle. So let's just assume it's a 2022 Peterbilt 389. You always want to get the year, make, model of the vehicle, okay? No matter what, all commercial vehicles are going to have a year, make, and model, just like any other car, okay? Only thing to keep in the back of your head is Towbook's going to have the most popular commercial vehicles on this program. They might not have all the vehicles. So they might not have all the auto cars. They might not have all of the Freightliners. There's a lot of vehicles that they might not have, right? And that's not a big deal. So then we want to ask, what is it outfitted with, right? Because commercial vehicles can be outfitted with so many things. There's so many different variations that commercial vehicles can be outfitted with. And I'll give you an example of that right now. It could be outfitted like a dump truck. Vehicles can be a tractor and trailer. So if I type in tractor and perfect example of a tractor trailer right there. Could be outfitted as a water truck. And that's what a water truck would look like right there. Vehicle could look like a box truck, right? A 26,000 GVW box truck, right? Like a medium duty one. And if it's a box truck, then the vehicles are going to look something like this. Box trucks are probably going to be the most common trucks that you guys are going to be seeing. Or maybe even something smaller like a stake bed. And I guess more than anything, I'm just, showing you guys some of the most common stuff that it could be. Always ask the customer what's it outfitted with. So going back to this call, we can say it's a tractor and trailer. And being that he's pulling a trailer, we can ask, is the trailer loaded? That's just a very generic question that we can always ask. Trailer is loaded, assuming the customer said it's loaded. From there, we're going to get all the mileage, and the mileage is coming out to 27 miles. This is going to be the only interesting part because we end up zeroing out all the miles right here, right? Because it's going to be all hourly. So realistically, the only thing you're going to have to do is to make sure that when you guys get a call like this and you guys call me up or you call Big Al to ask for a quote, is to make sure that you guys are getting us, okay, what city it's in, what city it's going to, is it for an account, is it not for an account, what's the vehicle that we're moving, so it's a tractor trailer, and how many loaded miles. That's going to be the most common questions we're going to ask you right off the back. We're going to ask you that because we don't have a lot of time and we need to be able to generate you a quote quickly so that you can go ahead and say the quote to the customer. So for something like this, 27 miles down for an account, I might charge something like $750, and if it was a retail call, it could be up a little bit more than that, but commercially, give or take right around there. So you don't have to put the breakdown. You don't have to know the breakdown. All we have to do is just come out to the total. Again, notice how I zeroed out the mileage and I did all that. And if they have the account with us, then they don't have to pay right then and there with the credit card. So we'll just bill them at the end of the month. From there, we can go ahead and create the call. It'll be on the waiting tab. And then from there, just go ahead and update the status and send it to whatever heavy driver we want to send it to, right? Assuming that's the heavy driver we're sending it to, or that's the heavy driver we're going to send it to. Heavy duty seems a lot more complicated than what it is, but it's really just 3 more steps above light duty, right? It's just asking if they have an account. If they have an account, do they want us to put a purchase order number on it? If the answer to that is no, finding out what kind of upfitting it is. And then the last one that I had forgotten to mention is truck number. Do they have a truck number they would like for us to assign it with? That's really all that it is. It's very simple. It's very straightforward when you're dispatching heavy calls. We'll always generate you guys the price. If our driver calls you back and he gets there and maybe the air tank blew out, these are all questions you want to be asking. We always tell the customers we keep it hourly, and we won't know 100% until we get out there onto the scene, because there's a lot of things that we don't know until we 100% get there out there onto the scene. We can always quote them the base price and then just let them know we're not 100% sure, but it could go up a little bit more, just due to the air tanks being blown out or your axles being broken or damaged, stuff like that. If it's just something as simple as the motor doesn't start, it's not going to go up anymore. It's pretty safe to say the price is going to stay the same, but you never know, right? And that's why we always leave it hourly. It could be a motor that doesn't start and the guy drove forward into an alley and the alley has a dead end. Now we got to winch this unit back so that we can then hook it up to the front of the semi. There's all kinds of factors. There's all kinds of factors that vary into it. So, as difficult as heavy duty might seem, it's very easy and there's not much to it. Thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Bye bye.